刚放了一个长假回到公司，是不是又要开始跟同事寒暄小聊呢？会不会感到有点紧张，或者是不太习惯呢？以下有3个 tips 帮助你调适回到职场社交的心理状态。Hello， 欢迎来到 Executive Plus 主管与沟通力的 Podcast。I'm Sherry, an educator, certified coach, and style enthusiast。我相信专业有效的沟通是语言跟逻辑的完美结合。
And I'm Nick, a startup consultant, corporate trainer, and late-night gaming junkie. I believe great communication requires the right mindset and solid frameworks.
我们希望带给大家职场英语的技能、跨文化沟通技巧与其他能帮助您成为出色领导者的工具。
Join us each week as we share our experience, research, and methodologies to take your communication and language skills from good to great. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Executive Plus podcast. The Lunar New Year holiday has come to a close, and now we begin that dreaded time where we have to go back and tell everyone about what we did or hear about what they did. Well, to make your post-holiday small talk a little smoother and a little bit more interesting, we're here to offer 3 tips before you start your holiday banter.
回到公司开始要跟同事分享一些你假期做了些什么呀，不管你可能所有的时间都是在床上睡觉也好，或者是你什么都没有做，但是这个社交的 small talk 是一定会发生的。So, let's talk about how to make this easier and actually more effective for us.
The first tip is simply focus on the connection over perfection, meaning just walk in there with an air of curiosity. Some people get into their head about, oh, I need to be the perfect small talk artist, or I need to know how to chat with anyone, whether it's my coworkers or customers. Or there's some people who walk in or like, I want nothing to do with any of this conversation. The perfect area lies in between. There really is something in between. Oh my gosh, what did you do? Where did you go? How was it? What was so interesting about your vacation? And do you have a good vacation? What we really want to find is that curiosity in the middle.
So speaking of curiosity, 有没有怎么样表示我们就是非常好奇对方可能做了些什么？我们其实也可以问一些好的 open-ended question. 那我们的问题通常我们会说 What did you do during your holiday? Or how was your weekend? 那这些问题不是不好，只是他们比较 general, 没有办法表达你的那个好奇感在哪里。So we can learn to focus our question a little bit more specific to a certain point of their holiday.
Rather than using a question like, how was your holiday? That can simply be answered with a, it was okay, or all right, or it was good. You can try something related to, what was the most interesting part of your holiday? Or, what was the most interesting conversation you had with your family?
Or you can definitely ask, what was something that you did during the holiday that you didn't get to do any other day?
My favorite question in this situation is to ask what kind of vacationer a person is. Are they someone who goes on holiday and then they just fill it up with all the things that they don't get to do throughout the rest of the year? Travel, sightsee, shopping, etc. Or are they someone who just goes and secludes themselves with a good book or a show that they haven't seen in a long time?
So, I mean, all of these questions, you can really get a sense of who that person is. 不只是他做了什么，而是他是怎么样的人，他的个性是什么，他的 philosophy or 他的人生的一个 philosophy 是什么。So, you can be a little bit more specific and just be more curious about your colleague's life, your client's life by asking more specific, open-ended questions.
Now, our last tip is related to sometimes when you ask questions, people are not really willing to answer or comfortable to answer. So sometimes it's good for you to prepare just a small story or a small example to make them feel comfortable, like, oh yeah, I can share something personal. Rather than thinking about how to be the perfect conversationalist and how to ask questions, one thing you can do is prepare a little story about a highlight from your vacation. Something as simple as, well, most of my vacation was pretty mundane or boring, but on the second day, this happened. And just have that one little snippet where someone may feel inspired or more comfortable because you shared first.
So I know a lot of you guys are wondering, well, my vacation's not so interesting. It's not that eventful. 有什么好讲的呢？ Right? 有点无聊。但是其实每一个人都一定会有一件事情他是可以来分享，而且其实对方也会非常好奇想知道。But the point is, you don't want to be like, Monday this happened,Then Tuesday this happened, and then Wednesday this happened. 就是不要讲一个流水账。It's the same thing. You don't want to be that person who tells that story. 因为你等到讲到 Wednesday 的时候，人家可能已经想要在想另外一个问题了，或者是他们可能就是想 they want to end the conversation. 所以刚刚 Nick 所讲到 just point out that one thing, right? That one big thing, the highlight, or something that is more, it doesn't have to be very dramatic. It's just something that you really wanted to talk about. So I would say, oh, it was pretty okay, but one thing I really enjoyed doing was I read a lot of books that I kind of neglected. So you can just talk about that one thing. And then you can talk about, I read this book and this book was about this, and I really recommend it for you.
So just offering some kind of insight or a takeaway from that conversation. As Sherry said, I read this stack of books. Most of them were okay, but I would recommend someone try this. Or something that can be very mundane, but may spark a conversation. Could be as simple as, well, nothing really exciting happened, but every year my grandmother prepares this specific dish, or some family member prepares a certain activity, and I look forward to every year. That will usually get someone to be like, oh, yeah, my family does this, or will spark a bit of a conversation about, say, tradition or your favorite things about the holiday. And it was very simple. It didn't have to be exciting or groundbreaking. It could be a simple sharing of, here's my favorite holiday thing to do, favorite holiday thing to eat, or here's a tradition my family has. It's very easy for people to feel connected to that conversation.
Yeah. And also, if you are sharing this with any foreigners from other country, other backgrounds, and I'm going to tell you this, they are going to be very interested in what you do during the Chinese New Year holiday because they want to learn something. So offering just something that you did with your family, you can just highlight one thing like, oh, we had a very interesting tradition. We actually hide a $10 coin in the dumplings and the kids would fight for, they would eat as many dumplings as possible and see who actually got that coin to win the prize. So like there are always these like small little tradition that each family has. And you can talk about that and share that with people from different part of the world.
Well, we hope this helps as you go back into the office and have conversations with your coworkers or share with foreign colleagues or anyone abroad about what you've been doing for the last week other than answering your emails. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
The Executive Plus podcast is a Presentality Group production. Produced and hosted by Sherry Fang and Nick Howard. You can search us on Facebook, 主管英文 Executive Plus. You can also find us on Instagram, Communication R&D, and email us at sherry@epstyleplus.com.